up and asking if there are recipes that they can use for yeast bread without having a mixer or a bread machine. So this is that recipe. We're literally going to stir everything up in this bowl and put a loose fitting lid on it and stick it in the refrigerator overnight, and then pull it out and shape the rolls, and then you let them rise one time and they're ready to pop in the oven. So if you're looking for an easy, no-knead recipe for dinner rolls or yeast bread, this is it. You can also substitute all-purpose flour for this. I'm using whole grain spelt flour that I have ground today, but you can interchange this with all-purpose flour, and the measurements will actually be the same. So we're going to get started here, and I have 1.5 cups of warm milk, not hot, just warmed it in a pan for a minute to knock the chill off. 1.5 cups of warm water. And I have 3/4 a cup of coconut oil, and I actually just warmed this in the pan to get it to the liquid state. You can use shortening, but coconut oil is just so much better for you. I'm just going to mix that in. And then I have 3 eggs. We're just dumping all, whoop, that was fun. Anyway, we're dumping all that in and just give it a quick stir. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of organic sugar, 3 teaspoons of salt. Oops, little guy hanging out there. We need that. And then 9 cups of flour. Just, if you want a really easy, like stir and go recipe that is impressive for dinner rolls, this is the recipe. So I'm just gonna stir all of this up real quick, just a little bit, and then I'm gonna sprinkle 3 tablespoons of yeast on top of that. This is instant dry yeast, so I don't have to let this dissolve in the water. I can just stir it right in with the liquids, which is why I like the instant dry yeast much better than the old style yeast. So we're just gonna give this a stir. There is not gonna be any kneading, so we're just incorporating the eggs and everything together. Give that a good stir. Get your arm workout in here. The idea here is to just incorporate everything and stir it for about 2 minutes. And that's all we're gonna need to do on this one. So you can already see that those warm ingredients is making the gluten strand come alive already in here. So that's gonna be good. So once you get this stirred up, all we're gonna do is put a loose fitting lid on it and stick it in the refrigerator till tomorrow. Okay, so here is our refrigerated dough that's been sitting in the fridge, and as you can see, it's a lot stiffer now. So I'm actually just going to dump this out on my counter, and I have floured the surface because the dough is pretty sticky, and so this will help us be able to handle it a little better. So I'm just gonna sit that there, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour on my hands and just kind of get this more workable into a ball. So again, this was a no-knead recipe, but you can see that it's formed a really good dough all the same, and it actually has a really good smell where the yeast has been working in the fridge, so it's almost sourdough-like. It's really, really good. So you're just gonna pinch off about a golf ball size of these, and I'm doing them in a cake pan because this helps them to rise up real tall and pretty. So I'm just gonna do some rolls there, and if you get a clump of dough, like there's one here, you just kind of work it in. Just keep your hands floured. You just want to tuck and turn that, just kind of in a little turn, and roll it up underneath each time. This little guy's kind of hard, so we're gonna go ahead, it was in the fridge, and get that one out. And then if you fill your pan pretty full with the rolls, then that'll help them to be really fluffy and pretty when they rise up. So you want them pretty close together for this recipe. And if you have any dough left and you just want to make a pan for dinner, you can always stick this back in the fridge and it'll keep for at least a couple days. So you can actually use off of this dough for at least 2 days, so you can have it for dinner a few different times. I'm just gonna roll him. If your hands get sticky or the dough sticks, just put a little flour to it. Just kind of encourage those to lift up a little more than a biscuit there. We're just gonna finish this pan out, but you do want it pretty crowded, and this is a greased cake pan, so I sprayed that before we started rolling it out here. And actually, if there's any flour dusting on them, it actually makes it pretty. And these are gonna actually rise in an oven, and because the dough is cold out of the fridge, it might take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes for these to almost double. And we're just gonna do that in a cold oven. So just kind of look for it. You're looking for them to be about double size. So I'm actually gonna put one more roll because we want this to be pretty crowded in here for when they rise. Now you can shape this dough to make bread, loaves of bread or anything like that too, or even sticky buns. It's a very versatile dough for that. So we're just gonna put these in. I think I have like 10 rolls in this pan. And then I'm actually going to leave this dough in my bowl and let it go back in the refrigerator, and we'll have these rolls on Sunday. Okay, so here the rolls are. Just pulled them out of the oven, so they have more than doubled in size. They're pretty hot, but I'm just gonna show they have a really good texture, and they have a lot of good tenderness to them as well. And these can, like I said, can be kept in the refrigerator, any leftover dough that you have, and you can use it again the next night, so it's good for at least 2 or 3 days in the fridge. So the recipe will be in the description below, and I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you.